that VIP pass. I guess that you
Can
already
that
have
be a hand.
Yeah, you kind of have the good or bad news by the time you look at your hands, but seeing them as cards you're going to draw off prizes, is that really a prize?
Somewhere. It's a prize somewhere. Consolation prize, maybe?
Yeah.
Now looking at the prizes for Enrique, didn't seem too bad. You got a couple Pokemon in there, but here we go. Round 4 action yet again. Enrique up against Isaiah. And yeah.
Enrique has once he's been out there playing in these fields. He was 2-0. Saw me earlier and said, "Hey, us old men can still get the job done, right?" And I said, "No, I'm casting. I don't know how to. I can't go 2-0." So he's a member of the old guard, of course, known most famously for that second place at U.S. Nationals with the wacky Wailord.
Meanwhile, Isaiah coming off a fresh top 32 finish at Baltimore Regionals, looking to go a little bit further this tournament, and is starting things off with the concealed cards and then a quick ball into that Comfy. And both these players starting off with Radiant Greninja, although very different decks.
Yep, see that immediate quick ball discard of Drapion is not going to be something that you want to focus on, but we are going to focus on the fact that Enrique does, of course, play that Echoing Horn. Could see that come into play, whether Isaiah likes it or not.
First Flower selecting, opts for the Ultra Ball in the Lost Zone, Air Balloon to the hand. You see that Cramorant onto the bench. Not really going to be able to do much until that Lost Zone starts building up. Just needs 4 in the Lost Zone to be able to use that Lost Provisions ability and attack with Spit Innocently for free. But now Enrique is going to start things off with a Battle VIP pass, and this is where Isaiah wish things could have been different.
Yeah, he said, "Hey, I got those. They're just in my prize cards." That's not ideal. And this is what Lance was trying to do. These are called basic Pokemon. They go onto the bench, and they help you in performing all of the rest of your actions throughout the game. And we see some really nice ones sent to the top of the deck there in that likely Sobble and Palkia V.
Already a better start than Lance with this Origin Form Palkia V-Star deck. 2 Battle VIP pass. That means at least 2 Origin Form Palkia V on the bench. Again, not really having to worry about something like Empoleon V, so maybe that makes the decision a little bit easier.
Yeah, this is ideal. Being able to have multiple copies of both these Pokemon means that you're not under too much pressure immediately if a Cramorant were to come in and early damage onto a Palkia V, or perhaps if you saw Moonlight Shuriken start to get going.
Wow, yeah, this hand is insane. Concealed cards picked up that Origin Form Palkia V-Star and that Capacious Bucket. Capacious Bucket now able to search for 2 water energy, and you get that attachment for turn, and you get to have that concealed cards for the turn after, and you even have a Level Ball Drizzile in hand. Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty good. The SPS, shuffles per second, looking really strong from Enrique. Old man not being phased whatsoever, gets that water energy down on the Palkia, and certainly looking to get aggressive on that next turn. Means that Isaiah's going to have to get the job done here, and Comfy's going to try to get things going with that Flower selecting, throwing that Air Balloon away. And you need a little more help. It's usually a card called Colress's Experiment. I'm trying to find it here.
No Colress just yet. Does find a Quick Ball, though, so you can Quick Ball for another Comfy. You can scoop up Netta Active and try to get some more things going. You still need something like that Giratina V to get on the bench so you can actually get that V-Star out and start attacking.
Yeah,
but
attacking's good. It's
a little bit.
Certainly a little tricky of a situation here now. I have that second Air Balloon, so going to be able to get back to this Comfy and try things once more. Not the cards you're looking for.
Yeah, Mirage Gate found off the Flower selecting, but you have to sacrifice that Roxanne in the Lost Zone, and that is going to be huge, although there is 2 copies, so maybe kind of playing it as a a little decoy, like, oh no, I lost Roxanne. What am I gonna do?
It's in the law zone. I'll never play it. But yeah, this is a risk that Isaiah is going to have to take here now in this situation. Going for the Luminian V to find the Colress's experiment. This is starting to increase the bench space to a point that you feel slightly uncomfortable, and you have yet to play a Giratina down. And you know that is going to be something that we're looking for here off these 5 cards.
I see the V Star, another Colress, a Mirage Gate.
It should have been more specific.
Yeah. Maybe next time, Kyle. Maybe next time. And with the Quick Ball played already, you got Ultra Ball in hand, but not a lot of resources that you want to discard.
It's also just awkward. Your opponent already has the energy down on the Palkia. You have 3, which would eventually be 4 Pokemon if you just Ultra Balled for a Giratina V. And if they remove your only Giratina from play, you're really relying on Thornton and other things to get the job done. And that's not where you want to be when you just played your first Colress's experiment.
Well, thanks to that experiment, there's 5 cards in the Lost Zone. That means Lost Provisions is now available to Isaiah. You can attack with that Cramorant, and we're probably going to see that here. Scoop up net the Comfey. Bring up the Cramorant to the active. Has already retreated for the turn, but you will be able to get 110 damage on that Radiant Greninja. Not where you really want to be, but hopefully kind of clean it up with something later on.
Yep, definitely opportunities with Moonlight Shuriken at some point, perhaps. It does feel weird to put down regular damage and not take knockouts when you're playing a deck that deals 280 damage often. But sure enough, we are going to see those dice stay on the table, and the turn passes over to Enrique.
And we saw Isaiah not actually use that Ultra Ball to get that Giratina V. Again, just does not want to put it in harm's way from something like a big cross-switcher Palkia V-Star play. And meanwhile, Enrique's hand is just continuing to chug along. You have that Drizzile for the Irida. Irida is going to be able to find you that Origin Form Palkia V-Star and a Scoop Up Net, it looks like. And yeah, that just blanking that last turn of attack for Isaiah.
Yep, the preservation of resources here looking really nice for Enrique. It's important to note that Isaiah also did a fairly good job of this too, just playing only 1 Pokemon that would be knocked out by a potential Moonlight Shuriken if everything went wrong. So really strong play from both these guys to start things off.
And it's actually big here. Enrique not having to use that Star Portal ability from that Origin Form Palkia V-Star, just attaches from the hand for the turn, and you see that Subspace Swell, more than enough to take the knockout on that opposing Cramorant. And Isaiah bringing up that Radiant Greninja with that Air Balloon. Usually you see something like Comfey in the active just so you can use its Flower Selecting, but opting more for just the flexibility of that free retreat.
Yeah, the Air Balloon onto
wow.
the Comfey can be pretty great, but this is awkward. That's a lot of energies.
Ordinary Rod to go along with it, and you have to take that Ordinary Rod.
Yeah, really tough debate, and to go with it, you still haven't found Giratina.
This is a Giratina deck, so.
I am almost certain that is the case.
Now you found a ton of energies in hand, but those are cards you want in the deck just so you can turn on those Mirage Gate. And you see, what, 2 in hand for Isaiah, but how many energies left?
Yeah, the counts are getting low, and certainly an opportunity here to cash in on the Mirage Gate and do something with this Radiant Greninja, but afterwards, where is this Giratina?
Oh no.
Is there no
Kyle,
water?
There's no water.
No! You need that!
Had the one in the discard, but did not play the Ordinary Rod before the Mirage Gate here.
Oh, that's just so bad. Where do you even want these energies to go? Comfey, get in there. Go, Luminion!
Luminion is able to attack. It can shuffle itself back into the deck, get rid of that 2 prize option for Enrique the following turn, but no, this is not where you want to be at all for Isaiah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, we're going to see an Aqua return here. Shuffle all cards back into the deck, 120 damage. and Isaiah's going to be left with a Comfy and a Radiant Greninja in play. No Giratina V at all just yet this game.
Yeah, this is weird. It's hard to win when you have no Pokemon in play that are dealing relevant damage. You're using your resources to deal 120 damage and run away. And yes, there are some cards in the Lost Zone to benefit here. Maybe work in a card like that Sableye or something, but I think that's in the prizes.
Yeah, that one of Sableye is in the prize cards, and it's pretty unfortunate for Isaiah. But meanwhile, Enrique finds that Manaphy. You saw the writing on the wall. My opponent's going to try to use Moonlight Shuriken. I might as well get this Manaphy out right now. Get that Water Wave Veil up.
Yeah, you were given a blessing when the one water energy came down, not two, and certainly going to cash in on that now, getting the Manaphy down, getting that Veil up, and protecting these Drizziles from being knocked out. And that just means that Enrique is going to have so many resources available throughout the rest of this game. Already now we see going for a card like that Marnie, and thinking of everything right now, Hand Disruption is fantastic in a spot like this where you're going to be removing that Comfy. You're just up against one Radiant Greninja and 4 cards from your opponent. Gotta love where you're at here.
Yeah, all those energy getting shuffled to the bottom of the deck. We're not even going to have anything to conceal the cards away. Thankfully, Isaiah does find 1 out of those 4 cards, but Enrique's turn is not over just yet. Concealed cards of his own. Shaping out that hand for the next turn. Will we finally see the Star Portal? No, just the 1 in there. So there is that Subspace Swell taking the knockout on the Comfy. 4 to 6 prizes now. That means the Roxanne in Isaiah's hand is not able to be used just yet.
Yeah, this is Colress's experiment with a hand that isn't going too far, and a lot of help is going to be needed off the top of the deck. I think we see a Comfy, but
we see a Comfy, a Lumineon V yet again. Anything but a Giratina V.
Basically. That seems to be the trend of this opening game here. There's no quick balls being able to be used in assisting to find those Pokemon, and certainly not finding them off the top here.
Listen, sometimes the experiments go right, sometimes they just go horribly wrong. Got to follow that scientific method.
Hey, you know, that's how we do things here. That's exactly the way Colress drew it up.
Just not for Isaiah here. Having to get rid of that Lumineon and the Ordinary Rod. Now 9 cards in the Lost Zone. But for right now, that does not matter at all. We see concealed cards trying to find something here. You do have a Comfy and that Cramorant. So we'll be able to actually take the knockout with Cramorant and its Spit Innocently attack. Comfy. Couple supporters. Thornton, I think, Colress's experiment off that flower selecting.
Well, Jeremy, I have a hypothesis.
Oh, well, we're experimenting. Let's go.
If Isaiah does not have a Giratina, then he will be moving to game 2.
Ooh, that is a good hypothesis. We'll have to see if things play out that way. Thornton is one way to actually sneak in a Giratina V-Star later on in the game, but we haven't seen it just yet, just, you know, the one in these lists so far. There's that Scoop Up Net, brings up the Comfy, gets benched right away, but now we're going to finally have an attack here. And, oh yeah, not actually able enough to take a knockout.
No.
I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice? But no, instead, you spit on a Pokemon that just Cheryled in your face, and that is brutal. We know, and everyone else knowing, that V-Star has not been flipped. There it is. That is going to be energies flying right back in play. And this is the beauty of playing this list that we've seen from the likes of Franco Takahashi and other players from the Japanese region, playing that Cheryl, playing the rare candy, and a lot of really fun, interesting one-of techs that come to amazing performances in this spot, being able to remove 2 attacks from other Pokemon, and now this Palkia V-Star is going to do some additional work here, eyeing up a 3rd prize now.
Kyle, I think your hypothesis was correct. We're going to be seeing a pretty dominating game 1 here from Enrique, just having full control of the board state. Now down to 3 prizes left. and we have still not seen anything from Isaiah here and this Giratina deck.
I'm going to tell my mom to buy a lab coat. This is great. I'm a scientist.
Yeah, looking at that hand, Flower selecting, still no Giratina V. They're not even in the prizes. What's going on?
What is this? I feel like we've seen upwards of 50 cards now, just from Comfy's and Culver's experiments, cards being shuffled back in. And where is Giratina V?
Where in the world is Giratina V-Star?
Not Peoria.
Gets rid of the escape rope, finds the training court off of that Flower selecting. You can use Roxanne here finally. Maybe hope to claw back just a little bit, but wow, how back-breaking was that Cheryl, being able to clear off that 230 damage on that Origin Form Palkia V-Star. And concealed cards, did we finally see a Giratina? I think we did.
Well, it's nice. There's one issue. Enrique's taken 3 prize cards and looks to be taking a lot more soon. I guess the one benefit here is that Isaiah is on a lower bench size, so just damage output in general from Enrique is going to be capped at a lesser point, but we've also seen that Enrique has piled up an enormous hand, has access to Inteleon, and plenty of energies to boot.
Flower selecting, gets rid of the Psychic, finds another card for Isaiah, and with this turn, that's now 4 Scoop Up Net in the discard pile for Isaiah. Gonna have a lot less playability with moving around those Comfy. And finally, Kyle, it feels like it's been forever, but there is an energy on that Giratina V on the bench to go along with that Roxanne. Trying to hope to disrupt Enrique just a little bit, but anytime you have Drizzile in play, that's just one Evolution Incense away from unlocking that hand.
Yeah, one of the variables we need to account for in this experiment is the amount of prize cards that Enrique has taken. This is where this gets really awkward, because 3 prizes left and ending the turn potentially with a single prize Pokemon in the active spot just means that Enrique is going to have to just remove one of these V Pokemon to close things out here, and that's certainly not too much to ask. And Isaiah's got to be thinking of that. It's just, what do you do at this point? You really needed to have this turn last turn.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and take a look at Enrique's hand. Counting the bench. You got Irida, and that is
you know he has enough damage to knock out a Comfy. So when they start counting, you go, oh no. I think he's trying to do a little more than 70.
And there is a few ways to do that with Enrique's deck. You got cards like Echoing Horn. You got cards like Choice Belt and stuff like Galarian Zigzagoon. So this Inteleon with its shady dealings finds that double cross switcher. You're going to double cross switcher into a Giratina. From there, you're going to scoop up net that Inteleon, get to use shady dealings yet again, and that's going to find something like the Echoing Horn and Choice Belt. And from there, you just have to, it's all wrapped up.
Yeah, writing was on the wall. Isaiah certainly being able to understand that that was not his game, and we are going to see Enrique moving up 1 game in this set so far, looking to potentially close out 1 more and get 3 points to his name. Great start here on stream, and the consistency of Palkia, you know, if you're not an Empoleon deck, maybe that's the answer.
Yeah, well, again, it's just not having to rely on a card that is solely for disrupting your opponent, and you can just focus on yourself instead. And, you know, self-care is great, Kyle. You need to clean that face at night in the morning and get things going, get things set up, have those Drizzile in play so you can shady dealings for game 1.
Is there any better self-care than a helicopter hat? Because I think that is the most beautiful thing that you can do for yourself.
Isaiah trying to take flight here, but is down a game in our round 4, our second round 4 match of the day. These players got sent to an early lunch to bring you some Pokemon action.
Yep, it was probably a really nice granola bar. These guys, it's tough to convince yourself to eat when you're at a tournament and to get through all those rounds, but got to be thinking about that and get some food in your belly. Like that Cramorant trying to eat a Pikachu.
Yeah, they can't see that though, Kyle.
I can see it. Those are some pretty cool sleeves on this deck. You guys are going to see the front end of those sleeves, double Chorus's Experiment, but at the bottom of the prices.
Yeah, thankfully we'll be able to maybe take some prizes there, but you saw last game, that was a struggle.
Yes, it is tough when you don't have Chorus's Experiment and some chained Comfies and Giratina V. Good card.
Yeah, I believe that is the card of the deck, and here we're going to see the prizes for Enrique. Doesn't look too bad. Do have that one of cross switcher down at the bottom, but it is at the bottom, so
I think if I could choose to prize a card, I'd put a cross switch at the bottom. It's always just like you just want one additional piece and don't want to waste a Drizzile for it. So that's a nice spot, especially when trying to chain together knockouts.
Speaking of nice spots,
no.
Isaiah's not in one. Just a Psychic attached to that Cramorant, trying to show off those sleeves there, but that's not a Pikachu it's eating. It is a bad hand.
He's spitting him out. He's not eating him. Why you can't eat Pikachu? That's ridiculous. Irida going to be a ridiculous opening start here for Enrique, and that is some beauty. We know that there is a multiple Battle VIP pass in this list. Got to be expecting to see at least one of those now.
And the hand of double Water Energy Capacious Bucket. Does this start better than the last game?
I didn't think that was possible, but sure enough, I think it's going to be just as good, if not better. This is pretty fantastic when you are searching out an evolution for next turn because of how good your opening hand is.
Oh, such a stark difference in how these players turn ones and turn twos are going to be playing it out. And yeah, concealed cards, you're going to be able to set up a big star portal next turn, and just now you get to relax, take some time, search through the deck, see what you have prized. Enrique noticing that one of cross which are prized, so going to be trying to conserve those as much as possible until you get that last piece of the puzzle.
Yep, there are ways to look in the prizes. There's a Hisuian Heavy Ball in the list, so potentially get to verify some of these things that we see in the deck right now.
Quick Ball is going to grab a second Origin Form Palkia V for the bench, and from here we're going to see an attachment, most likely a pass, and I'm scared for Isaiah.
You don't want to rule the region?
I guess, but then that's going to ruin the win rate.
That's true. Yeah. You got to think about the win rate, Enrique, and yeah, he's got to throw away that energy. I don't need this. Oh, it draws another one. Now we got a decision to make. Oh, boy. Oh! Next level reads there by Enrique.
Good job. Golf clap.
Yep. Beautiful. Yep, just understands that is an amazing way to tank your win rate, so not even going to go for it. Beautiful play there.
Really just looking out for those stats, guys.
Yeah.
You know?
Nope, that's just next level thinking. That's what you get from the old heads.
Chorus's Experiment is a great card to draw for Isaiah here. We'll be able to choose from the 5 cards on the top of the deck. Put 3 of them into the hand, lost another 2, but need some Pokemon here. And, oh, hey.
There's all of them.
Welcome. Actually going to Lost Zone one of the Giratina V. It seems like there's only 2 in the list. This could be very scary.
These are not decisions I want to make, and yeah, I'm glad that it's not me doing this. But yeah, Isaiah does pick what I would consider the right call. You probably need both of those in order to get yourself an opportunity to win game 2.
Yeah, and the 3rd card is the Quick Ball to be able to find something like a Comfy to get just more cards in the Lost Zone. Usually, by turn 2, you see this deck almost get to 7, and now we're just sitting at 2. Maybe gonna have 3 by the end of it.
Yeah, this is where you see how awkward this deck can draw at points. If you see everything in the right order, it's fantastic. You'll have that Comfy. You'll get to the 4th or card or whatever you need for the Lost Zone. Then Cramorant comes on, does some chip damage, but no, you're passing with 2 cards in the Lost Zone, and Enrique definitely trying to get aggressive here, you'd think.
The provisions are running dry for this Cramorant. Now Enrique Starting things off with Capacious Bucket, finding a couple more water energies that's going to lead to a concealed cards and attachment for the turn. You got Drizzile to go find Irida, and we've seen this time and time again, Kyle. This Inteleon line is just so powerful in combination with Origin Form Palkia V-Star, and you even see that Cheryl in hand. Wow.
Yeah, we knew how great that card was. When your opponent is having a hard time getting these cards into the loss zone, it just means they're going to struggle even more to get the damage on when they have to slowly chip away, and you know that you can just heal that right off.
Eyeing down Rare Candy is Enrique here, maybe setting up for a future Irida play. So you can go grab Irida, find that Inteleon and Rare Candy, and from there you get Shady Dealings ×2.
Yep, I think the math is there. I see some energies. Perhaps there's an opportunity here to be able to do the cross-switcher play with the belt and an additional Pokemon that would be able to get the damage that you'd need to take a knockout with the Palkia V-Star. We'll have to see if that lines up, and we know the level ball can be used for perhaps a card like Manaphy. Ooh, actually, I think one more piece was needed to get the job done. Not a piece of those cross switchers or the belt. And I don't even see the Palkia V-Star yet, too.
Yeah,
we were a couple steps off.
Enrique eyeing down that Evolution Incense. That will be able to grab that Origin Form Palkia V-Star. But from there, I think with the way the turn has played out, you won't really have enough resources to grab everything you need. And it's probably just going to have to end this turn with just a clean KO on that Cramorant. But Scoop Up Net will be able to unlock that Inteleon for the next turn.
Yeah, we could also see Aqua Bullet. There's a lot of ways that you can play this off, and getting 20 damage onto a Giratina V can certainly be relevant when your opponent needs to make use of every one of those bench spaces.
Now for the Aqua Bullet play, though, it's probably going to have to be Attach Retreat and then Star Portal.
Yeah, we'll see if that's the play. There's also...
no. Does the Galarian Zigzagoon add anything to this math? I do see one of those and Scoop Up Net, but no, just going for that Manaphy with the level ball.
No, we may have just been trying to get too fancy. We'll see. We'll see what the line is here now.
Listen, Kyle, we're dressed in suits. We got to go fancy.
I'm fancy. There's no denying this.
There is that Star Portal V-Star power ability from that Origin Form Palkia V-Star. Gets those energy in play, Subspace Swell, taking the knockout. And Isaiah, well, can finally try to attack with Giratina V.
Yeah, promoting the one without energies probably means I've only got 2 cards in the lost zone, and this isn't working. Probably.
Well, there is that V-Star on the benched one with energy. Again, looking at the hand, you got Roxanne, you got Quick Ball, Training Court, but no energy to go find. This is just rough.
Little awkward. Yeah. Just not the engine that you're looking for. Generally, you want to find multiple Comfy, just be jumping around between those, get these cards into the lost zone, and then start playing your style of Pokemon. And we don't even see the switching effect right now. The Giratina V may just be stuck in the active spot if this continues.
I did forget about that Psychic Energy on that Cramorant. Now with the Training Court, Isaiah is able to pick up that energy, and you can choose to attach it if you want. But again, might be debating attaching it to the active Giratina V just to get some more cards in the lost zone. We're going to see finally this Quick Ball being played. It was held for quite a long time from Isaiah.
Yeah, once again, another debate with that Luminion in hand. Do I play it? Do I go find Colress's Experiment? Do I throw it away with a Quick Ball? Oh, that'd be rough if they had an Echoing Horn. I didn't even get to grab a supporter. So going to be the discard of the Sableye there.
That is a good point. With these Pokemon in the discard now, Echoing Horn is going to be a live card for Enrique that gets some extra damage in trying to take down those Giratina V. And we're just going to see the attack from the Giratina V. Looking at the top 4. Gets to put 2 in hand, 2 in the lost zone. Now 4 cards in the lost zone here.
Yep, Abyss Seeking going to be a card that we've seen have a 100% win rate. I don't know if that will continue.
Counting up the damage.
The answer is belt or horn. Toot toot.
And Enrique will have access to any of that he chooses. Does have that Inteleon with Shady Dealings in hand, thanks to that scoop up net from last turn, or this turn.
Yep. Horn makes a lot of sense because your opponent then has to consider that Pokemon on their bench for the rest of the game too. They'd have to use a card like Scoop Up Net if they ever wanted to reduce that damage, and then you can always sneak the belt in later. It's you're also just cashing in on 20 damage as opposed to 30 damage, and with a card like Galarian Zigzagoon potentially making its way into the damage mix, you have to be thinking of every single damage point to close out on a Giratina V-Star.
It looks like the calculations were finally made for Enrique here, and now we're going full force. Plays that Inteleon down, is finding that choice belt here. And like you said, with the choice belt is enough to take the knockout. So now finding a card, something like Irida. Always good to chain these together.
Yep, the belt, just a nod to the fact that that Pokemon that could be added to the bench may help in some points, so why give additional resources? Understandable either way.
Irida now will be able to find that second Origin Form Palkia V-Star, and we're going to see that Echoing Horn anyway.
I like it. This is a really strong move. There's also so many cards in the hand right now that are valuable, and this is where it gets a little bit scary now because Enrique is going to get down to the 3 prize mark, and we know that Roxanne certainly has to be on their mind.
I'm sorry, my math is 140.
Yeah, I do like maybe saving the choice belt on the benched Origin Form Palkia V-Star in case of something like that Roxanne. And you'll have access to cards like the Cross Switcher for later. Oh, the Echoing Horn is not a tool. Doesn't get attached. There we go. Choice belt on that benched one. And, oh, is that actually knockout? That's not knockout. Did not play the Echoing Horn down.
Oh, Enrique, that's not it.
All of that math and just 20 short here. Had everything in hand. Was even debating playing the Cross Switchers. And this gives Isaiah some light at the end of the tunnel here.
It's just a missed opportunity now. Of course, there is the Radiant Greninja. There's a way to deal additional damage to this Giratina V, but you've already used Star Portal. There's not going to be an easy way to get that going. Maybe you have to think about Shady Dealings and Inteleon, working in an Aqua Bullet at some point, but you don't want to miss out on opportunities like that where you have that 99% you could close out here.
Just that 1%. And Isaiah now able to finally maybe get an attack off with this Giratina V-Star now. Has that Luminion V with its Luminous Sign, being able to search your deck for a supporter. We're going to see that Colress's Experiment. And with that, that's going to unlock Mirage Gate for Isaiah here, because after the Colress, you're going to have 2 more cards in the Lost Zone. That's 7. That's what you need.
The gates are open, and certainly going to be impactful here. Giratina V-Star has been waiting to start chomping down on these Palkias on the other side. Almost a game and a half now trying to get the job done, and finally we are going to see an opportunity here. Let's see what Colress's Experiment has for us.
I don't even think it matters.
As long as it wasn't 5 energy, I was chilling.
Yeah, you do see the 1 Mirage Gate in hand for Isaiah, and wow, what a missed opportunity for Enrique here.
Yep, important not to dwell on these things and just think about your strategy. Trying to get 5 prize cards now and plan those out. You do have an easy target in the Giratina V now, and of course, with that choice belt on the Palkia V-Star, if that Pokemon were to be able to get in the active spot, you'd think that that'd be plenty of damage to cash in on next turn.
Now, one thing we're going to need to see from Isaiah's side of things is getting that Giratina V with the damage evolved into that V star. Just because there is a card like Galarian Zigzagoon in Enrique's list that can pick up that KO later on, especially with a free bench space after this knockout here. So Isaiah does have access to it in hand with a card like Ultra Ball, and we're going to see that here.
Yep, smart thinking. You're only 20 damage away from being knocked out, so go ahead and avoid walking into the Zigzagoon in combination with Scoop Up Net. That would have been awkward.
Debating about the second card here. Looks like that Radiant Greninja is the one for the discard. You see double Roxanne in Isaiah's hand. And yep, we're going to see that Giratina V-Star. It's going to come down onto that one on the bench. And now with just a way to get out of the active spot, Isaiah is that much closer to getting his first lost impact of this match.
Yeah, that is definitely going to make an impact because we need to see some prize cards being taken and quickly. Under 15 minutes left in the match right now. Isaiah down one game, trying to scrape back from an awkward start here, but lost impact, going to have a big attack. And it's going to be on Enrique now to figure out how to get the job done when your opponent only has 2 bench spaces.
Yeah, it's going to be a little rough here for sure. But here is that lost impact. Actually removes the 2 off the active Giratina. Now Enrique does have a backup Origin Form Palkia V-Star to combat this Giratina. Does have that choice belt that was placed there last turn. But again, we're going back to the math here. You know, a mathematician versus a scientist. I'm not sure who's going to really come out on top.
Well, either way, we get a diploma. 220 damage is the mark with the bench capacity of 3 from one and 5 from yours. This gets to 260 because of the belt. 2 more nets, that'd be pretty wild.
That'd be all of them. And I think one was already used on the Inteleon.
So you're saying there's no chance. Does set up for a really cool Aqua Bullet double knockout if you get the 260 mark on this active and then bring up the cross switcher on the next turn. So the energy attachment to an Empoleon would be pretty, or Inteleon, they're all the same, would be pretty cool. Blue guy, get blue energy, do thing.
Well, like you said, that water energy goes down on that Inteleon. You're going to see the subspace swell put a ton of damage on that Giratina V-Star, but not enough to take the knockout. It's just showing 20 left, 260 damage, and Isaiah's going to have to try to plan through. Was really relying on using those Roxannes, but Enrique, some ways, played around it.
I was about to say, that maybe this was the most incredible bait of all time. By getting, getting around the Roxanne, knows that his opponent is going to be healing these Giratinas anytime soon. This is next level stuff.
Color's experiment for Isaiah here, trying to find some cards to be of use. Drapion V is not going to be one of those.
Goodbye.
Couple energy to go along with it. That's not really what you want to see. Was really hoping for something like a Mirage Gate. Charge up that Giratina yet again. But with this Color's experiment, we'll hit that over 10 cards in the Lost Zone that is needed for Star Requiem. Actually puts the Psychic in.
I was gonna make that point.
Yeah.
That's a good energy. Training Court looking. Is there that energy available?
No,
that's terrifying. This
Oh, okay.
That is one problem when you're playing all these different types of energies, is if you lose count of any of them at any point, you can put yourself in a really awkward situation.
Yeah, and speaking of awkward situations, this hand, you got that one water energy, only going to really be used for something like that Radiant Greninja or that Luminion V, I guess, as we saw the previous game. But Having the grass on the active, the psychic on the benched one, and having no way to use Star Requiem with either of them.
Oh boy, yep, this is weird. Now you got to consider retreating, yeah, and then you're gonna go for ripping with the Comfy, finding the Mirage Gate, and being able to get some access with the other Giratina V. Not there, Ordinary Rod.
Ordinary Rod's not going to do it here.
Oh, just missed opportunities on both sides now.
A giant hand here for Isaiah, but has really just been unable to do much of anything. I'm going to see maybe quick ball for another Comfy. Is there even any left in the deck? No.
Yeah, a lot of those have been, at least the one there that we see, go to the Lost Zone. Perhaps was one in the discard pile, and then maybe you could have Ordinary Rod, but not sure of that either. This is getting awkward. The damage is available for Enrique to close things out. Pretty ridiculous couple turns that we've seen here now, just almost piecing together the comeback here for Isaiah. We'll see. I guess there is the grass energy retreat, but there was an attachment already, right? Yeah, this is not ideal. Just gonna leave the damaged Giratina V-Star in the active. Hope to not see the cross switchers.
Well, you said the gates were open. They're wide open right now for Enrique. Has the access to the energy with that training court. With that Aqua Bullet now is going to be live. You have double cross switcher in hand, bringing up that Giratina V-Star, and there you have it. Enrique with a 4-prize turn, able to take both of those Giratina V-Star down, and in pretty decisive fashion too, sealing up that match.
Yeah, understanding how to close out even when things aren't exactly going your way. Just a missed opportunity there that we saw earlier by not getting that knockout, but ended up working out, was unable to be Roxanne, and then the damage lined up perfectly for Inteleon to show off why it isn't just known for shady dealings.
Yeah, just little happy mistakes there, really just benefiting Enrique. Roxanne was just not a card able to be used, and there was 2 of those in the hand for Isaiah, and pretty crazy how it works out like that in the game of Pokemon.
Yeah, a nice back and forth between these players. I know